I got huge news about the government shutdown and about Chuck Schumer. Before we start, let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm very interested to know where you guys are watching from because we got some big news today. And the breaking news is President Trump has officially backed the Senate's plan to reopen the government, which gives no money to illegals or Obamacare. At least 10 Democrats are already on board to end the shutdown, which is all they need. The 60 Senate votes. That's all you need. Hold the line. Do not give in to Schumer's demands. But it looks like Schumer was the one working behind everybody's back. Liberals all over are melting down because reports are coming out that Chuck Schumer again caved. And it's hilarious because I'm going to show you this video of liberals absolutely in a full, complete meltdown mode over the fact that Chuck Schumer did a backroom deal and he just basically just flat out just gave up. And 10 Democrats have now, just they couldn't take it anymore. So take a look at liberals losing their minds over this.
So it turns out that Chuck Schumer was indeed behind the Democrat plan to cave for this whole shutdown thing with no benefit. Like literally they just wanted to give in and let the Republicans pass their stupid continuing resolution.
This is a 5-alarm fire. Chuck Schumer is about to cave, and I need every single person that sees this to call his office. This is his office number, and demand that he does not cave. Axios has just reported that Democrats are going to cave. And what they're going to do is say, hey, we'll vote to open up the government as long as Republicans promise to get a vote for the Obamacare subsidies in December. When the fuck has the Republicans ever actually gone through with their fucking word? They literally have not sworn in a democratically elected official in 48 days.
We have breaking news right now.
The meltdown is unbelievable. So you see, this was the Democrats' plan to get what they wanted. It wasn't about Republicans having all full power. It was about Democrats using this as leverage. So when everything was happening and everything, happened last week and 2 weeks ago, right? What is it? 38 days since the government has been shut down, and they kept blaming they kept blaming Republicans, and we just kept telling people, hey, the Democrats, all they got to do is 10 of them just have to vote with the Republicans. We need 60 Senate votes to get this clean resolution passed so we could keep the government open. But they decided not to. And now, because of the flack and how crazy they look, just to show you what their supporters sound like, deranged supporters. They wanted to keep the government closed. They didn't want to keep the government open. You think that they didn't want people in the streets rioting over SNAP? You don't think they wanted people in the streets rioting as a whole? You don't think they wanted to pollute people's minds that all of this happened under Trump's presidency? Now, Trump's administration has not been perfect at all. I'm not claiming that. But the fact of the matter is that they wanted this to happen because they wanted to pollute people's minds to make it look like, hey, it's the Republicans holding it back. But in reality, look at what is happening. They're caving fast because they know that the Republicans didn't cave, because they didn't have to, because all they needed to open up the government and not have people suffer the way that they wanted to is just open it up. Vote with the Republicans. You only need 10 votes. I think 8, which is pretty much all you need. But I think 10 Democrats have pretty much looked around, and Chuck Schumer looks to have been the guy who convinced them to do it because he's tired of getting cooked. Take a look at this.
House senators have reached a deal to reopen the federal government, with some suggesting that Democrats are caving to reopen the federal government at this time. According to Axios, here is the deal that is on the table. Senators will be voting on this deal this evening. 10 Democrats are likely to support a procedural vote on a package of funding bills along with a clean continuing resolution in exchange for a vote on Affordable Care Act tax credits in December, along with an agreement that there would be a reversal of the RIFs, the reductions in workforces. That is essentially, it's a big deal. This would reopen the federal government and ensure that air traffic controllers are paid, SNAP benefits are fully paid out. Now, there's a lot of procedural hurdles to.
So why are you? What is the disappointment about? America's not going to fall apart the way you wanted it to. Is that what you guys wanted? Now, this clean resolution again. It's just a clean resolution, right? So you're going to be faced with this problem again, right? But it's crazy to me that they just flat out loved it, right? Here it is. A agreement to reopen the government is nearly complete. John Thune says no Obamacare dollars in the bill. Thank you, President Trump, for ensuring we held the line. A lot of people are thanking President Trump for this. And again, in a shocking and completely unpredictable turn of events, being sarcastic, after a 40-day government shutdown, the left had decided after the national election day that they are now ready to open up the government. Not planned, not political games, totally random. Right. This is why explaining and putting out updates and videos are very important to explain to Americans, everyday Americans, what's going on. If you don't think that the Democrats are playing a psychological game with voters, independents, and leftists, right? We're talking about millions of people who don't even know what was really happening because they're so busy with their lives. They don't care about politics much. But every time they look up, right? Every time they look up, they see that the headlines are Trump's government shutdown. That's what it looks like to a lot of people. This is why it is very important to come out and explain what is happening, right? Explain to people, show people the clips, show people the articles, show people what's really going on with the backroom deals and what these Democrats are doing, because many people believe that this was a Republican shutdown due to the fact that Trump is president. But now they're caving. And many people say, of course they're going to cave now, right? Of course they're going to cave now. But here we go. So the CR only funded government until November 21st. Is that still the case? So we have to, I think they're adding 3 mini buses to fund the government until January 30th. So it looks like this is going to go on to January 30th. And again, this is just a wild scenery, right? Because they get nothing in return except that they swept through. A lot of people say that they did this on behalf of the fact they swept through these elections on November 4th. But again, breaking, at least 10 Senate Democrats are expected to vote in favor of a procedural motion to advance a package of spending bills and a short-term funding measure that would end the Democratic government shutdown, according to Axios. The deal would include a promised vote on extending Obamacare tax credits in December. That's all they get. It's just a promise on voting. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. They're just going to get a vote on extending Obamacare tax credits. That's it. That's what they're going to get in return. This is so fishy. It's so weird, but it should have been expected that the Democrats were planning on this and planning on caving this way. Now, other Democrats, like the crazy ones, definitely wanted the government to continue to be shut down. That's why they're melting down the way that they are, right? Democrats are melting down the way that they are because they wanted the government to remain closed. They wanted the government to remain this way. Let's go to Kyle Kalinske. Let's see what his update is. I know Black Conservative Perspective played it on his channel. Take a listen.
In total partisan hack knows that Democrats are the cause of why this is happening, right? Eventually, if Democrats continue to hold out and they come up with these goofy explanations for why is it they can't agree to the same spending that they agreed to under Joe Biden multiple times, people are then going to start to say, well, obviously Democrats are the problem here because they can open up the government and they can talk about Obamacare later. But see, again, a lot of these leftists, they don't understand when you're greedy and you end up eating too much, that's when you throw up, right? It backfires. So Democrats caving right now is probably the smart thing for them to do because ultimately in the day, they don't have much to gain by continuing to drag this on. And they got a whole lot to lose, right? So, that is obviously something that leftists don't understand. And I want to react to this clip of Kyle Kukalinski essentially calling for Chuck Schumer to lose his job. I mean, he's probably going to be primaried anyways, over the fact that he's caving. So they're begging their followers to call Chuck Schumer because of the Democrats caving.
All right, guys, I'm sitting here prepping for the show, and I just came across some major breaking news that I wanted to share with you right now. So we're just getting word from Axios that it looks like Chuck Schumer is caving in this shutdown fight. So here's what they say. A deal in the Senate to end the government shutdown is within reach. Multiple sources from both parties told Axios at least 10 Democrats are likely to support a procedural vote on a package of funding bills and a CR, sources said. It would be in exchange for a vote on ACA tax credits, that's the Obamacare subsidies, in December, and some language regarding RIFs. And get absolutely nothing, get fucking Dickie McGee's act for it, is completely and utterly unacceptable. We just had an election, and in that election, the message was clear. We want you to fight these fuckers. Right now, they're starving 42 million Americans. That's what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing. That's what you wanted them to do. That's what you wanted the narrative to be. That's what you want your crowd to believe. Like, come on. That is sad work, man. It looks that way, at least. When you look at what's really happening, right? Even if the courts decide that Trump and the administration's funds don't have to go to that, it really should be looked at, in my opinion, hey, open up the government. Why are you open up the government? All you Democrats have to do is literally help open up the government. That's it. If you don't want people to go through this, we don't want people to go through this at all. We don't want this. This is a mess. Right? And now they're getting nothing out of it. So how does this look for Democrats? Well, what it looks like for a lot of people that hate Chuck Schumer, they wanted people to go starving and hit the streets so it could be chaotic under President Trump and Republicans don't hold power for the next 8 years. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's why you see these people melting down this way, in my opinion. Right? So it's wild to see. It is wild to see, ladies and gentlemen.